Oh, what? What? We're live. What? What was the oh wait? Tell me.
We didn't talk about the order. But
Oh, okay. Hey everyone, welcome to the Deep Thoughts on SNL podcast, an SNL companion show. My name is Rob Moden, I'm the host. First, let's say hi to Leah Sueko.
Hello, I'm Leah Sueko.
Yay! Now we don't have to worry about order anymore. And that cuts down on like 5 minutes of pre-show talk every time. And with us today is Saad.
Hello, everyone.
Saad, yay.
Yeah, it's Saad. You probably don't have to lean into the microphone. It's probably okay.
Fun fact, Saad, this is the first time. Is this the first time? Well, it's the first time you've done a video.
Yes, definitely.
Podcast. But for those who listen, me and Saad are best friends.
Yeah.
Has that ever been explained, or has that ever been like? It just seemed like a random thing that occurred. What was all of a sudden the idea that you two are best friends? I don't know if you've ever talked to each other outside of Saturday Night Live related stuff. I don't know what this is based on.
No, there are necklaces that were exchanged. You know, best friends forever. You know, we picked out beautiful matching ones. No, yeah, we're thick as thieves.
Really, what's there to explain? I mean, we're best friends. That says it all, right?
Yeah.
Did this start anywhere? Have you actually met in person? Was this through Russell? Or?
How does anything start? How did the mausoleum start? How did civilization start? Really?
It actually
Great things
started.
just happen.
Matt and Saad are roommates, and so that's how I met
Wait,
Matt.
is that true?
Not great roommates, I would say.
No, they don't get along at all. It's so strange. There's
like
so
Matt Smith. Matt Smith.
Yeah, Matt Smith.
Oh, you've met him.
How? How did I not know that you guys are roommates?
Yeah. Quite a few adventures. He is unfortunately out right now. Funny story. He's actually dating two of the same twins at the same time. How he's gonna do it? I don't know.
I mean, wackiness is bound to ensue. So.
I mean, that seems like something that might come between roommates in a hilarious hijink, but I don't know.
One
we'll
would
see
hope.
What happens. Yeah. How was everyone's week? Did anybody do anything special, or just boring in Portland and Toronto?
I had a super crazy, zany Friday night, but it would take an hour and a half to explain all of it. So.
Well, we have time, right?
We'll just move on.
I do not. I really don't. My apartment is hosting a party behind me right now that I am skipping out on. Saad, how about you?
Just a pretty straightforward weekend. Played hockey. Went rock climbing with a friend of mine who you all may know, Kevin Morgan. And just general weekend laziness.
You and Kevin hang out all the time.
Yeah, Matt's starting to get a little jealous about that, so it's making things awkward.
Of course he is, yeah. I mean,
you actually sound much more active than any of us. Like, that actually, I mean, it makes sense that we're doing a podcast and you pop in every once in a while. But.
Well, sorry?
How dare you have an active lifestyle?
How dare you? How dare you, Saad?
So let's go into the episode. It was episode 9, season 40. Martin Freeman, musical guest Charli XCX, aired last night, which was December 13th, 2014. So are there any highlights that people want to get to right away? I thought it was a strong episode.
I thought it was a fairly strong episode. I thought it petered out towards the end of it, to be honest. Would we say that?
I wouldn't say that.
No.
Saad?
Oh boy. I tend to agree with Leah on this one. I do think it was a strong episode in as much as Martin Freeman was, I think, a great guest host. There was a lot of strong points, but I think some of the cast members were underutilized versus the ones that I have a searing white-hot hatred for.
We're already in trouble because out of context being that I love almost everyone, Brian on the Deep Thoughts Twitter quoted me saying, "I'll never be able to hear boots the same way ever again." So, and I believe it ended with "fuck you, Keenan." So I'm sure that they love me over there right now because they're aware of us. They follow us every day.
Yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
I thought it was a strong episode, but now I'm trying to write down like what sketches I definitely want to talk about. I'm going through the list of them, and like there's one or two, and then the rest like really do not stand out that much. So I'm like reconsidering on the fly how strongly I thought this episode was.
Yeah, there was only 2 really, really strong skits, in my opinion.
Okay, well, what are your 2 strong skits?
Something Claus?
Yeah!
Was fantastic. It was fantastic.
I knew this would happen.
God.
I knew that Leah would love the Keenan-fronted one where he plays a pimp because, of course, Keenan plays a pimp. And Saad,
that way. He didn't start out that way, Rob. Okay, he had a little run-in with the Mrs. Claus, and life happens. Life happens, Rob.
Rob, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you hate Christmas?
You know what? I'm not a fan. I'm more of a Chanukah. No, I don't know.
The reason I love this sketch in particular is just it's a very delightful, carefree sort of sketch.
It is. I loved it. I really, really loved it.
What about the sketch said delightful and carefree? Those just like I don't necessarily disagree, but it's such a weird choice of adjectives to go with.
Rob, everybody getting something.
Everybody getting something. Everybody getting
something. That says it all.
And it's money, which is way better than like made in the North Pole.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Don't worry about where he gets it from.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Everybody getting something.
You're all wrong. So that's the strongest of the episode?
That was I was quite pleased and delighted by that. Yeah.
In a season where things have been very political and very current events oriented, it was just refreshing to see something that some might consider timeless and just generally fun.
What are you talking about? Timeless in terms of like it's not tied to a specific event, or timeless as in people are going to go back to this years from now?
Yeah, they're gonna.
Why not both?
Why not
my
both?
God, you're so wrong.
I can't believe that for once I am in the majority with somebody.
No.
Robin, hold on, man. Finally, thank you.
Something Christmas is your strongest of the episode. I can't. All right.
I think we broke Rob. Oh boy.
But it was followed immediately by The Hobbit Office, which was great.
Yeah, that was my second one. I loved The Hobbit Office.
And your level of enthusiasm clearly shows for it. Just the drop off between Something Christmas. Hobbit Office was my
second. It was Something Claus.
Something
Claus.
Yeah.
Not Christmas.
You're all. I regret this. I regret this podcast. I regret having you two on.
We're like 5 minutes in.
Here's my problem. I liked the detour of the Mrs. Claus backstory, but Keenan as a pimp, Keenan singing, the joke being that he just like gives people money and like that was it to the entire sketch, and I don't know.
Rob, but you're missing the point. Everybody getting something.
I let you finish. Your sentence, even though I knew exactly where it was going. Like the sketch, I knew exactly where it was going.
I think maybe the strong suit of the sketch was more about delivery than the actual concept.
I think so. Yeah,
just
I would agree
setting everything up, those pregnant pauses. And the other thing is Keenan is always, I'm sure we've discussed this before, it's always a strong thing with just his reaction shots and his physicality, whereas this one, I think it was just strong work by Keenan. I think he should be appreciated for it. And I'm being deadly serious. I was joking about it being timeless and all that, but I do think this was maybe Keenan's strongest, like one of his strongest sketches I've seen.
We're experimenting with our format this month, and last week we tried to do a top 3 of the week, and it went okay, but it didn't go well enough to keep it around. This is what I was dreaming of, was like
Oh, boy.
such a strong disagreement that it would just like propel the rest of the episode. But like I don't even know, like.
But me and Saad aren't in disagreement. Like we're on.
No, we're on the same page.
Yeah, but I lead this podcast. I'm the host. So I'm saying shut it down now. But okay, so Hobbit Office was your second favorite, Leah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go on about that?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I liked the
No,
original.
I loved the British Office, so it was nice seeing like the throwbacks to the actual British Office.
They really got the look down of that. Like it wasn't even like American Office. It was like British Office. I don't know what the difference there is, how to articulate that, but they had it down.
It's a lot more grainy. It's a lot, it's not as like clean and fresh looking.
Yeah, they somehow made it look like they shot it on PAL as opposed to NTSC. Like it was like a British broadcast. The way they cast every cast member as like the surrogate of the Office, like they had the Ricky Gervais character. They had Martin Freeman basically playing Martin Freeman, and then so on and so forth. Yeah, you're right. It was.
They even had what was the name of Keith?
Yes.
They even had Keith doing
the golem. Yeah,
eating into it. And Taron was amazing.
As usual, his impression work is spot on.
He had a huge night, and this was like leading the charge of it. Like, he was the MVP, not just in points, but probably in like acting as well. Although I know you don't like the Ketchup Factory sketch later on, which we can get to. Saad shaking his head.
Yeah.
But it was really good, and obviously it's the thing that's going viral right now in the morning. But
naturally,
it's kind of amazing in itself, though, that it was more so than a Hobbit sketch. It was like a British The Office sketch. Like, I don't know if people only familiar with the American one would like it quite as much. And it's a 13-year-old show at this point. Like, I'm kind of just shocked that we got 5 minutes of BBC The Office parody.
Yeah.
Leah, you're quiet.
I can't believe that show's 13 years old. That makes me feel so old.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy. That makes me feel so old.
Mm-hmm. But Martin Freeman hasn't aged a day.
He hasn't. He really hasn't.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
He's even cuter now than he used to be. So.
Timeless, immortal Martin Freeman.
Timeless Martin Freeman.
Mm-hmm. Timeless. That's the key word that we'll be going back to today.
Hashtag timeless.
What did we think of the opening?
Are you referring to the Charli Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, it was fine.
I mean, Taron, again, great with the impression work. Like, he has Charli Rose's cadence and like the pentameter of his voice down, like, almost perfect. But beyond that, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
I really like Bobby and Kyle's back and forth. Like, they had like an actual kind of chemistry between them. I saw some stuff online about like it was funny, but is it actually like truthful satire? Like, it's really just like taking a horrific news item and like turning into fun jokes about like the self-checkout aisle and like and an annoying jingle. Like, we've seen kind of the political cold opens this year be weirdly kind of straddle the line between either like being very hard hitting. Like, I think that Obama Schoolhouse Rock thing was for SNL kind of hard hitting against him, but other times like Al Sharpton being what they go to deal with Eric Garner or other lighter basing it more out of character or just like one-liners than actually like digging into the issue.
Yeah, a great example is that one sketch they did with Barack having a drink with the opposition. That was very lighthearted, and I thought very effective, and it was actually really funny too. Yeah.
Which I actually loved. I loved that.
Yeah, I think that was the consensus. I think most people did.
Mm-hmm. Is there kind of? I feel like Weekend Update is getting better, and we can talk about that later. And they've been actually like getting a little bit more hard hitting as they're getting comfortable. But is that kind of is there any sense that it's an imbalance between like the political cold opens being so kind of just focused on fun and Weekend Update kind of moving a little bit more into Daily Show territory?
I mean, it's been effective this season so far. I don't know necessarily what would be wrong with that.
Leah?
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of the cold opens, and this season I have enjoyed them a little bit more than normal, and there have been a couple that I've really, really liked, and so I do like that more. As far as Weekend Update goes, I don't know. I thought this week's was a bit better, but I don't know. I really liked the stereotypical girl thing, but Jacob, I can't stand Jacob, so. I don't, and her and Michael Shea had no chemistry whatsoever. I didn't think that the bit worked at all with Michael Shea, so.
I think it worked just as fine as it did with Seth Meyers, and I think Cecily. Like, it's the exact same interplay of, like, all right, ask a question, and then Jacob, like, smiles and looks away.
I don't think so. You should go back and
What was
watch it.
lost in translation for you? Can you, like, articulate it, or was it just, like, a feeling that it didn't fit?
For me, Shay, it just wasn't as natural. Like Cecily and Seth, it really does seem like they're trying to get an answer out of Jacob, whereas Michael did not seem like he was doing that at all. He
seemed like he was reading a script?
Yeah, it was just him going, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Che in general doesn't play well with others necessarily. Like, it's hard for him to get a chemistry with even, I think, Jost, or really any of the other cast members. But I think he works well when he's in his own little bubble.
Yeah,
like, he's independently doing his own thing. I think from the beginning of the season, he's just been getting consistently better and better. But I agree with Leah that he lacks having chemistry with, whether it's Bayer or Jost or Leslie Jones or whoever.
Would you prefer to see him as a solo anchor? So that maybe it could be more refined in his voice, or?
See, that's tough because I don't want to discredit Colin Jost. Like, I know a lot of people might have their opinions about Colin Jost, but he does serve a purpose, and he's getting better as well. And the odd moments where it does work between Colin and Michael Che, I think it works really well.
Yeah.
And if they can just be more consistent with it and keep getting better at it, I think they could be a really good duo.
What was the big joke? Oh wait, the torture one where it was about Dick Cheney called the torture report a load of hooey that didn't even get me hard.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Yeah,
that was like a perfect Weekend Update joke that they in like really the direction that they should be going in. Like if they want to kind of compete with Daily Show and stuff, like Weekend Update is built around one-liners. So you really have to kind of like pack a punch with it.
Yep.
Well, see, my other problem with Weekend Update is I've noticed that the jokes are very, very similar to Seth Meyers' jokes from The Late Show. They're very similar.
Sorry, like the jokes he's performing that week on his own late night show?
So
You're actually watching his late night show?
I just watch up until he talks to Fred Armisen because I think it's hilarious when he talks to Fred Armisen.
Yeah, they have a Greek one, yeah.
All right.
Because it's obvious that he just makes up a question to ask Fred Armisen, and so Fred Armisen just makes up a weird, strange answer. And I love it. I love it. And he just sits there and stares at him.
Is it worth revisiting his show? Like, I liked the Aaron Sorkin thing that came out, but it wasn't enough to make me go check it out regularly again.
I wouldn't say so. Honestly, I watch it for the 2 minutes he talks to Fred Armisen, and I turn it off. I turn it off after that.
Okay.
So.
The big thing in Update this weekend was, and I think last weekend too, was 3 guest commentators, and I think the 3 this week were pretty strong. I want to put forward Cecily Strong as the one-dimensional female character as my favorite. Because it might
great. It really was great.
It might even get better the next time because there was some. I feel like it was like 90% of the way there with like somewhere between like her. It was clearly a decision to do like the stilted delivery and stuff, and like there's something there's something that was kind of holding it back from going 100%, but like just on concept alone, it was fantastic. And all the little details of like the record store, and I was just starting to like you. I was almost in my bra and panties. And,
I think it plays great. Yeah, I think it plays great off of like anybody who grew up with like those '90s teenage movies. Like they knocked it out of the park.
I think AV Club.
Yeah. Or Yesterday.
I think AV Club referenced Vince Vaughn movies, and that seems particularly like that seems right. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
No, but I also just I don't think this is any secret, but I have a giant crush on Cecily Strong.
That is a huge secret. I didn't know that. I'm your best friend. I had no idea.
Well, this is
come up in your like little like text messages between each other at 1 a.m.
Never mentioned this. Matt has, because our whole Mike O'Brien Cecily Strong thing last year, but you've never mentioned Cecily.
Yeah, this is awkward. Yeah,
but no, just upset it's not her.
Oh.
Are we fighting? Are we fighting?
No, let's talk about this later.
Okay.
It's fine.
Old things deteriorating live on. This will live on YouTube forever. This deterioration of your friendship.
But no, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you, Rob. I think Cecily as that character was probably the biggest highlight of Weekend Update this week for sure. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and Bear was okay as her character.
Jacob. I think it went as well as it usually does. I also I think it's a newer addition ever since Jeter left the Yankees or something, where she like mentions it and then immediately like wipes her eye. Leah is stone-faced at that. I reference that, and Saad like laughed super hard.
I was laughing super hard just at the New York Yankees yarmulke. That kills me every time I see it. It's hilarious.
I just hope that people are watching the video version of the podcast so that they can see Saad's face and Leah's face side by side in a natural contrast of reactions. Yeah, I thought Jacob went as well as it could have. I loved Cecily, and I hope that she always does like super characters with extremely long names. That can just be her thing from now on. Girl you don't want to talk to at a party. The one-dimensional female role from male-driven comedies. But then Sashir, kind of surprisingly, I don't know if it's inspired by Pete and Leslie doing their own stuff at the desk, and or like somebody brought it to her, but I thought the whole emojis thing was actually like pretty solid. Like it wasn't spectacularly funny, but it actually had like a good point, and like it kind of it would have worked well as a stand-up routine.
Really?
I thought it went well. Let's fight.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Rob.
I
mean, it was fine. Like the premise was fine, but it wasn't that funny. It wasn't that good.
Yeah, I didn't find it that funny. And you know what? As the resident ethnic of this podcast,
Leah is half something, right?
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on, let's explain.
I was gonna make a joke about how, as a white person, maybe I understand Sashir more than you guys, but but anyway, go ahead.
No, just in terms of the whole thing was predicated on emoji choices for black people, and as a brown person, my options are the most racial stereotypical brown person with a turban on their head, or a pile of poo.
I was actually waiting for her to mention the pile of poo, because the only option I have are a ninja
okay.
and two little Asian women who are dressed like Russians for some reason. Those are the two options I have.
Fair enough. I retract my outrage. That's unfounded.
Well, as a white person, I've just decided not to use emojis, so I think that is the answer for everyone.
But to be fair, okay, yes, there is like an entire white family, but usually use like the smiley faces anyway, and those are yellow, so...
Yeah. Although I do enjoy having a variety of cat emojis.
I like it too. I actually like the kiss a lot.
Yeah, that's my favorite one, yeah.
And the guy with the sunglasses. Yeah, and the guy with the sunglasses. He's awesome.
How many of those dragons do you end up using?
I use the dragons, yeah.
Okay.
Especially if I'm talking about Jurassic Park, a dragon will do just as well.
The whole, I mean, I've
Which
seen
is
it.
often. We should clarify. Which is often.
It's often.
Most of my emoji exposure is like all those times where you see like lyrics to a popular song in emojis. So all those like plus, equals, blah blah blah. It just seems like a whole other language to me that I can't understand. Which I'm just gonna chalk it up to a teenage girl thing. Like
Yeah.
that's a whole other. I mean, white, brown, whatever Leah is, we can all come together and say that that's a teenage girl thing.
Oh yeah, it's the youngins, the
Mhm.
youths. I'm shaking my fist
youths.
at the camera if nobody can see.
News.
There you go.
About Zashir in general, she's another one I feel has been really underutilized lately. Like when she's on, I think she's great, but it's just I don't think this was in her wheelhouse. This
I
specific.
can see Leah
segment.
disagreeing with you right now.
Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with them. I was
okay.
being upset that they don't use Sashir as much as I think that they should use Sashir.
I called your head movement wrong. I thought there was like a kind of a divide happening within the fantasy league group, and I think it's happening online too. Of like the people who genuinely think that Sashir is talented and kind of underutilized, and the people who think that she might have been thrown off the show if she hadn't have come under such like political circumstances. I'm on side. Sashir's great. I like her. I really do. And I like how in the last couple of weeks she's at least kind of branched out a lot. I think her Rihanna thing was a new.
That was great.
Yeah, her Rihanna impression was good, and she was kind of leading that sketch. The Chris Rock one with her as a YouTube star, like I actually enjoyed that. I know a lot of people did not. And her on Update, like I like to see kind of people go outside their range or what their range has been defined as so far.
Yeah, I think it's no secret that this season has been sort of seen as one of the more diversification of SNL sort of seasons. You know, bringing in Shay, bringing in Leslie Jones, and having Zashir there as well. And I think Zashir is more nuanced in terms of like what characters she can do versus, you know, a Leslie Jones or
a Keenan.
Well, hold on. Let's not get
Yeah,
but yeah.
she's like yeah, I agree with that. Like it seems like she doesn't go to extremes that
Yes.
often, and so that I mean Leslie Jones has broken out, but she's a very extreme personality, and we'll see if like that gives her long-term range. I enjoy her, but I feel like she might have problems fitting in as straight men, or you know what I mean, to a sketch versus like the actual like drive of it.
But Leslie Jones is basically just going to replace Keenan next season. Let's be honest.
Oh, I hope not.
That's basically because Keenan's gone and
he won't do drag anymore.
he won't do drag anymore. And I'm not gonna. I'm
What?
glad I had a filter. No, I had a filter. I didn't say it.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
No, it's on.
All right, let's move on.
Think I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Sashir doesn't get brought back next year.
But I could also see her going on and doing other stuff that, like kind of like how Casey Wilson and Jenny Slate and other females on the show who weren't necessarily well utilized found better outlets after the show. I can see Sashir having a long career after this.
Yeah, very possible.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Sashir is extremely talented. I think she was brought in politically because she was a safe choice. She's pretty. She's, you know, not too black. You know, so
Yeah.
I feel like now that Leslie Jones is on, Sashir's been kind of brushed aside because there's tons of white chicks to choose from to put into sketches, and then you have like a more aggressive, strong black woman to fill that slot as well. And I feel like that's what's happened.
I'm not going to touch the black or too black or anything, so let's move on.
I put it in quotations. I'm trying to not be like, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. It's.
I know what you're saying, and like I think it falls into the whole like, is she an extreme personality or is she a nuanced personality? And yeah, my favorite sketch might have been the Christmas Mass Spectacular. because I am right in there of not Catholic, but a Christian family that I go to mass every Christmas. Because
Are you the Pete Davidson in your family?
I was for a long time. I was making a point out of not just not saying the prayers or the lyrics, but then like if I was with my friend who was also dragged there, just like constantly making jokes or doing fake lyrics and thinking I was so fucking cool. And my pastor did have a house connected to the church, which I always wanted to see inside the door.
You know, I gotta say the highlight of this one for me was just a sweaty Jay Farrow.
That didn't even register my first time, but I enjoyed the sight gag the second time, but I didn't find it the most memorable part of it. I don't know. Different strokes.
Yeah.
Leah?
I warmed into this sketch. When it started, I wasn't amused whatsoever by it. But as it kept going, I did think it was funnier and funnier the more it went on.
My highlight was probably, and it was a big showcase for like different cast members to pop up, do like a big kind of character thing, and then pop back out. But I liked the back-to-back of Kyle Mooney and Cecily Strong in their different readings.
I did like that. I thought that was hilarious, actually.
Because that was also 100% accurate.
It really is.
Whatever this is. Our reading from Corinthians. So many middle-aged people at my church who really into reading, really into it. On Twitter, I actually got a message before the podcast started by somebody who can't watch, but saying all she wanted to say, this is Kayla, all she wanted to say was that the Christmas Mass Spectacular was so accurate. It seemed like a big thing online last night. Like, people talking about how accurate it was, and like kind of odd that nobody's ever kind of done a sketch about it before, it seems.
Yeah, I agree, yeah, totally.
I was raised Buddhist, so...
What is that like?
It's very
That's
calming.
a genuine question.
Can you not tell how centered and calm I am as a person?
If I were to describe your presence on this podcast in the last year, we've been doing it for a year now,
Yeah.
calm and centered would not be the words that I would use. You're very, I mean, right now you're playing up the calm and centered, but usually combative and maybe drunk is...
Maybe drunk. I love that. Just bordering on tipsy and drunk all the time is what I go for. Is that not centered? You know, drinking wine has as many health benefits as doing yoga. So
says the people that drink the most wine.
Yeah, spoken like a true wino, yeah.
So I do a lot of yoga.
I almost spit take.
I think in general the show was a good show for people kind of cast members popping up, like stealing the moment and then going back, as well as Martin Freeman. Like the wedding sketch, I don't know if I would have liked it at all if it weren't for two line readings. One was Kate McKinnon saying like, I am not an objective person. I do not speak in groups. I mind my own business, but when I walked by and saw these two people, something in my brain said, Evelyn, you get in there and shut it down. It was a great monologue. And then Martin Freeman saying, Daddy needs his chocolate.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty good.
Chocolate in the morning, chocolate at night, chocolate at supper time, thank you. It was... Martin Freeman saved a lot of sketches, I feel like. Right Side of the Bed was not going anywhere without Martin Freeman's dancing.
Oh, his dancing was delightful!
He was a delightful person. He was great. His monologue, I mean, he was clearly nervous, but like very endearing. Martin Freeman was one of the best hosts this season, I would say.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think I'd put him right behind Woody Harrelson. I loved the Woody Harrelson episode, so
Yeah, it was good. I think the monologue was just great, and I think it was a reminder to everybody that Martin Freeman's in everything.
Yeah. Just
mhm.
counting it up.
Like
He,
that was just
excuse me. I'm trying to think what music I to do the intro and outro for of the audio, and there's like choices of like the Office intro, the opening music from every episode of Fargo, which is very foreboding. Like I don't know that the song from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or something, something Sherlock related.
some of
Like
Howard Shore's score from The Hobbit, maybe.
sure,
Yeah, I
I'm not a
mean,
big
yeah,
Hobbit person. It's weird that he's promoting the one thing of his that I didn't really like.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
I
I'm
would
just glad
agree
to
with
see him
that.
on.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And then I mean, and I feel like the tree lighting gig, whatever it would be called, like the one where Keenan led a band, Boots, that
Dude,
sketch.
yeah.
Except for Keenan's mention of Boots, which I simultaneously love and hate. Uh, like I feel like that sketch suffered because somebody along the way made the choice that Martin Freeman should be very kind of clipped and like reserved in his character. Like they didn't let him go for it. I don't know.
Yeah, that whole sketch was just so
Yeah,
iffy to me.
I really didn't feel that sketch at all. Not at all. I thought Keenan. Sorry, I thought Keenan was not very good in
Our
it.
Keenan.
Our Lord and Savior, Keenan Thompson,
Keenan Thompson.
as she looked up to the sky.
Sent to us by Nickelodeon.
Yeah, he wasn't working for me. I really didn't like it. Keenan kind of ruined that sketch for me, to be honest.
Wow, that
Wow.
is strong coming from you.
Interesting. Did you guys get the sense at all that he was trying to do a Cosby impression during that one?
I don't know what he was doing. It was a little bit of the "what up with that"
Mhm.
character,
Yeah, a little
but
bit.
then,
Yeah.
but then he started going into this really like affected speech pattern that
Yeah.
seemed like it came out of nowhere almost.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I didn't get what was happening whatsoever.
Saad, do you want to go on about the Ketchup Factory?
Like, what the hell was that?
I liked the Ketchup Factory.
Honestly, it was just,
Fight.
It was like who's on first, right?
yeah, but much worse.
Of course, much
like
worse.
terrible.
But I liked the fast dialogue, and I kind of liked the silliness of it and the old timiness of it.
I can appreciate the silliness of it, but it's just I don't know. For some reason, it just didn't work for me. I don't know why.
I feel like for some reason, if it was like an audio only thing, I would really appreciate it. I think I mentioned in the group or to Brian or somewhere that like I understand how it must have killed at the table read of just like the back and forth very quickly and like Terrence not getting it in a very kind of Monty Python or Abbott and Costello way.
Yeah.
But like something about like having a big set built and like his weird Mort Goldman from Family Guy costume and vocal tics
Yeah.
and like something about it like just complicated it or something.
I don't.
I think you could have gotten the same effect from the dialogue, and I don't think the costumes and the set was really necessary. I think they could have gone much simpler, and it would have probably done more justice to what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hat on a hat. That the Seth Meyers thing about it being like a joke on top of a joke.
Yeah.
Like Taron Killam's weird character plus the Abbott and Costello kind of banter.
Yeah.
And finally, the last one to talk about, Waterbed Warehouse, because waterbeds are the best.
I just always appreciate seeing 80s in anything.
I was gonna
Anytime
say
80s singing, I love it.
I just love 80 so much. Like I didn't really like the sketch, but I was like, just give me some 80. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Does
Yeah.
anyone dislike 80? Like, she seems like she could be a very divisive personality, but I don't think I've ever seen or read anybody dislike 80 Bryant.
I'd
I
like
know.
to issue a public announcement. If anybody out there listening does hate 80, find me. I will fight you. I don't understand what Like, what would you not like about her?
I think Matt was starting to say last week, but he got cut off, that like he was finding. She kind of has two modes. She has like a very kind of like strong and sexual, or very like I am confused what is going on, and like Tonker Bell last week versus a girlfriend's talk show. Like those are kind of her two modes. And I find them delightful. I think everybody else does, but I can kind of see where there's a possibility of it going down a wrong road for the Matts of this world.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because I was going to say nobody in our fantasy league talks bad about A.D. Bryant, which is unheard of that all of us would agree on
Yes.
one person.
Yeah.
Except maybe Kate McKinnon.
But we all know Matt doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, so...
His roommate most of all.
Oh. Oh.
Tell us roommate stories. Roommate stories.
I can tell you about the time that he kept leaving his laundry on my side of the room. And things just got out of hand.
And a wacky set of circumstances.
Yeah. Let's just say that didn't end well.
So overall, I think we liked this episode. Martin Freeman, I'm kind of still in awe that he is hosting the show. Like, The Hobbit is a huge franchise, but it feels like as much as he's the poster child of this trilogy, like, I think it's kind of people being bored with the Lord of the Rings movies and like how it kind of pre-existed him, that I didn't think that he got like a big recognition boost from it in the last couple of years. Then Fargo obviously was like the big push.
Yeah.
And
Sherlock, I would say.
Sherlock's been an underground thing. Like I don't know if it's quite crossed into the mainstream, besides like people having heard about it being great and maybe seeing it on Netflix, but like
really?
I feel like there's Tumblr and the internet versus real life.
No, everybody I know watches. I don't know a single person who doesn't watch Sherlock.
Okay, I thought that was just me being weird, but yeah, everybody I know has binged through all the seasons and is highly anticipating the next season and the Christmas special.
Huge.
I just feel like there's been like a weird disconnect where Martin Freeman, and I think my point was like I'm glad he's getting recognition, because I feel like he's popping up in stuff.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
In iconic stuff, but he hasn't necessarily been like a mainstream recognizable character actor.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I don't think anybody out there would name, like, oh, Martin Freeman, you mean Bilbo Baggins? Like, nobody would automatically register that or say, oh, the definitive Watson or the definitive such and such.
Mm.
I would say Love Actually.
That's true. He is in Love Actually. Yeah. Unless you're watching the TV version, which I did for years and never got to see his scenes.
Oh, it was cut out completely?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
His entire plot line, like there's no hint that he's ever in it.
Yeah, I mean, you could remove that completely from the movie.
You can do that with a lot of Love Actually plot lines.
Aww.
What do we think for Martin Freeman in terms of points?
He was in pretty much everything, wasn't he?
Let's actually, here's how we're going to determine the order for the game section. You guys say how many points you think Martin Freeman got, and the closest you are to my estimate, which I have on my phone, is who goes first.
82.
70.
Saad wins 55 points.
Holy shit!
Not
Wait,
that much.
what?
But here's the thing.
Oh,
Here's the thing. First host that I know of, at least this season, to incur Russell's 10-point penalty for not thanking the cast at the goodbyes.
Oh, yes, that was noticeable too.
But still, 65. That seems really low. No?
Yeah, even the
Well, he kept popping up and stuff, and he kept dancing. That guy loves to dance. But it didn't really.
But he didn't do much else.
No, I guess not. I mean, we don't have. If it's like, I don't know. Every once in a while, I consider like suggesting Russell, what about like points for doing an accent other than your natural accent? And Martin Freeman would have killed in that. But,
yeah, he did a great American accent.
And like, or wearing mustaches. But anyway, top three. And interestingly, we have a featured player in there. Number 1, Taran Killam, 74 points.
Yeah, not surprising.
No, that's not surprising.
Kate McKinnon, 49 points.
At second place?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big dip.
Yeah. But, I mean, Kate McKinnon as number 2 isn't necessarily something I would have thought of.
Was she? You know what?
It
Yeah,
doesn't feel like it, but she was?
Oh, you know, she's another one that's
like,
popping up.
She just had like small. She didn't like lead anything, but she kept popping up in every sketch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And number 3, Kyle Mooney, 48 points.
Yeah, I would have guessed Kyle Mooney.
Yeah, that's if you were to say a featured player, I'd say he was definitely the most prominent one. And I feel like he's gonna just get more and more stuff as the season goes on.
Mm-hmm. This was kind of what I was expecting, like when I originally drafted him or traded with Leah for him last year, and it didn't quite work out. But I thought that like he works in weird roles, but he can also be the straight man.
Yeah.
Whereas Beck Bennett, like he's gone a lot of roles lately, but like I feel like there's something about his role in the Mike O'Brien sketch last week, as like the James Spader like bully, seems like the epitome of like what Beck Bennett's personality or comedic personality is. And like I don't feel like every time he's a straight man, I feel like I get checked out a little bit because it's like I don't know, he has like a big gravitas voice and like always seems like a little imposing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of
Beck?
I've gone real cold on Beck. I think me and Sarah both dislike Beck, right?
Sarah's weirded out by Beck. Yeah, she's not here. I looked to see if she, but she's not in the room. But yeah, she's weirded out by Beck, and that Mike O'Brien sketch did not help.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's something about him I just find creepy, and he makes me uncomfortable. I don't really care for him.
Mm-hmm. Other just things to note. Pete Davidson, I don't believe showed up in the live sketch, and Jay Farrow, I think his only live appearance was showing up in the waterbed sketch with Taran as the shirtless guys.
Oh, can I just mention something? I appreciate Taran not shaving his chest for that waterbed sketch.
You appreciate it?
Yeah, it's rare to see Mango au naturel anymore.
I don't think he did for Gollum as well.
You know what? That was the weird part. I think I did notice that too.
Leah has an opinion.
Way too much attention to Taran's body.
Look, we're happy that a big Hollywood star is representing us hairy-chested people.
Yes.
You would describe Taran Killam as a big Hollywood star?
Hollywood. Married to Kobe Smulders, the most beloved of the How I Met Your Mother cast members.
I don't think they're married.
I believe they're married now. I could be wrong, but they're clearly together. Don't
Are they
raise this on a
clearly
technicality.
together?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had a baby. Don't raise this on a technicality. Come on.
If it hasn't happened yet, it's gonna happen.
Maybe they don't want to get married. Maybe you shouldn't peer pressure them. Maybe they just want to live their lives and be happy. Why isn't them being together enough? Why do you have to marry them?
Oh, okay. Did we strike a chord? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Leah is having some love life troubles or something.
Shut up! You don't know me.
Games! Game section. All right, so we're going to do 3 sections. Some of the games are a little different than last week. Sketch or Sketchy is going to return, but we'll get to that in a bit. First of all, so we determined earlier that Saad will go first.
Oh, no.
The first round, Jacob, the bar mitzvah boy, was back on the show last night. So we're going to see who can be the first to name how many times, per my research, Jacob has shown up on SNL in any capacity. Cameo, update, sketch.
6.
Don't.
You
Saad
said-
goes first.
You
And then
said.
we go back and forth.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just yell out an answer.
No, it's okay. Leah, you can go first.
Saad gets 2 guesses in a row now.
Fine.
Stop it.
I'm gonna say it must be more than 6 though. I'm gonna say 7.
Nope. And then Saad gets 2 more guesses because Leah went out of turn.
Wait, 2 more. You said
You said 6 and you said 5.
No, I didn't. I just said
You
6.
said 5.
I
You
didn't
said
know
5.
it. I did not say
All right, well, 5 is your official guess now. Saad, go.
No, 6 is my guess.
All right, 6 was incorrect.
Oh.
I mean 9?
Incorrect?
8.
Correct.
Yes!
You get 1 point.
Ah.
Was that worth fighting over, Leah? Was that worth...
Everything's worth fighting over.
Oh my.
Oh my God. Next round. Next round is.
All right.
All right. So I'm calling it 6 Degrees of SNL. So
Ooh.
what we have to do is I'm going to give each of you 3 past hosts, 3 past musical guests. The hosts are connected to Martin Freeman, and you have to connect who was the host and musical guest, like which combinations.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, Saad
Why
goes
couldn't
first.
it just be Kanye West trivia again?
Again, you were on the wrong week. If you were here last week and picking terrible
Oh.
sketches that we could debate about which ones were the best, it would be a much more electric episode.
Hey man. All right.
I thought Hey Man was going somewhere. And it was
Hey
just,
Man.
Hey
I had
Man.
nothing. I had
Calm
nothing.
down. You're really picking off Saad. I don't know if you
Alright.
know this right now, but that's the angriest I've seen him in like 10 years.
All right, so if you need to write it down, or I can just repeat it for you when you need me to.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you to keep repeating it.
All right. For Saad,
Okay.
your 3 hosts: Billy Bob Thornton from Fargo, Ian McKellen from the Hobbit movies, Zooey Deschanel from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, I loved that movie.
And then it was not a great movie.
I liked it.
The books
I
are.
like it too.
I'm gonna be that person. The books are so much better. And your musical guests: Kylie Minogue, Carmen, Creed.
Ooh.
Okay. Who or what is Carmen?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I
You know what?
I could
don't
give a
think you
hint,
can.
but I think it would actually give away maybe a year-ish, so I will not tell you anything.
Say no more. Billy Bob, Ian McKellen, and Zooey Deschanel.
Correct.
Zooey Deschanel's gotta be recent. Kylie Minogue, Carmen, and who was the third one?
Creed.
Creed? Oh my god. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna say Billy Bob and Creed.
I'm not gonna confirm any of them until
Okay.
you do all 3.
Until I get all 3.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm gonna
first is
say
Billy Bob, and Creed.
Yes.
It's fun
That's
to
what
call Billy Bob Thornton Billy Bob, right? Without the Thornton. The Thornton's just a downer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Billy Bob. Anyway, go ahead.
Billy Bob just seems more pleasant.
He seems like a kind folk you'd find
Yeah.
down at the watering
He's
hole.
down to earth, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say Zooey Deschanel and Carmen,
Okay.
and Sir Ian McKellen and Creed.
You already said
You-
Creed.
You
not
already used
I'm
Creed.
sorry, who's the other one? Kylie Minogue.
All 3 are correct. Congratulations.
What?
3 points for you. Leah is shaking her head in disgust.
I would have guessed all of that. Would have been my guesses for all of them.
All right. Well, here, at least one of them I think should be easy. Leah, your celebrities are Anna Faris, John Malkovich. Sorry, Anna Faris from What's Your Number, which Martin Freeman showed us.
Love that movie. Love that movie.
John Malkovich, also from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
John Malkovich was in Hitchhiker's Guide.
He was a brand new character. He was the guy who was like a torso with spider legs.
I don't remember. I have no.
I thought you loved that movie. And
I love Most Def in that movie.
and
fair. And then Jude Law, who is also a famous Watson.
Okay.
So your 3 musical guests:
Mhm.
T.I., Ashley Simpson, and Drake.
Okay. Ashley Simpson and Jude Law. That was the whole lip singing finasco. Finasco?
Finasco. Yeah.
That's a good one.
You coined it.
Word of the year, 2014.
Hashtag it. Pornit and finasco.
Mhm.
John Malkovich. Oh yeah. Someone's just
Already
cheering
happening in
me
my
on. Someone just
I think that's some
cheering me
Smash Bros going on.
on. Is that a Mighty Ducks reference?
No, Smash. No, not that. Not the Smash Brothers or the Mash. That's Mighty Ducks, Bash Brothers, I think. Bash Brothers, the video game where Nintendo mascots beat each other up.
John Malkovich and wait, who was my friend? Anna Faris. So I'm gonna go Anna Faris, Drake, and John Malkovich. T.I.
Hold on, Leah. No, hold on. I want to help you out here, but I don't know because I just don't think those last two are right for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel real bad about that choice as well. Okay, flip-flop it.
I need you to confirm that's your final answer.
Anna Faris and T.I. and John Malkovich and Drake.
You should not have trusted Saad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You had all three correct.
Oh, I swear that wasn't sabotage. It just didn't sound right.
All right, so now to win the game, we're going to do
John
sketch.
Malkovich and T.I. just doesn't sound right. It really doesn't sound right.
It doesn't.
T.I. is here. And that's my John Malkovich impression.
That's pretty good.
All right, so sketch or sketchy. You're each going to get 3 groups of potential sketches.
Oh boy.
And one of them will be correct. So Leah has to get all 3 of these correct, and Saad has to get all 3 incorrect in order to tie. And then I don't have a tiebreaker, so we'll just consider it a tie.
I would be happy with a tie.
All right. Saad, which of these 3 sketches is the real sketch in the history of SNL? A low-budget zoo partners with an animal hospital to display sickly animals. A flashback to the Founding Fathers, each trying to get weird sex stuff into the Constitution. Or a pedophile funds a school dance and won't leave.
All right, I have to choose which one is the fake one.
Which one is the real one?
Oh, ooh. I'm gonna say the Founding Fathers one.
No, it is a pedophile funds a school dance and won't leave.
Really?
That was Vince Vaughn last year.
Vince Vaughn hosted last year?
Exactly. That's how forgettable that episode was. I think it was pre-podcast. It was pre-podcast.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I watch that? I didn't watch it then, if it was pre-podcast.
All right, so that is one. No points for Saad. Leah, which of these 3 sketches is real? Thomas the Tank Engine becomes a deadly runaway train. Religious singing telegrams scold couples for living together out of wedlock.
That's hilarious.
Or rejected Muppets.
Oh, I love all 3 of those.
Oh. I'm gonna go rejected Muppets.
I'm sorry, it was religious singing telegrams scold couples for living together out of wedlock. That was Charles Rocket singing about it in 1981.
I wasn't even born.
So Leah loses the game, but shall we continue?
Yes,
Yeah, we'll
let's
go
continue.
on.
All right, and then
Can I steal
Saad.
points? Can I steal points?
Sure. If Saad doesn't get this one, you steal a point from him.
I like
Okay.
this.
Just to keep it in contention. So Saad betting a point against his will. Which of these 3? Saturday Night Live brings in a famous director to change the show's style. A kids' cooking show includes murdering the animals they eat. Or a mix-up results in a wedding band being replaced by a Satanist death metal band.
I'm gonna say the last one.
No, it was Saturday Night Live brings in a famous director to change the show's style.
Wait! Leah was supposed to try!
No. It was just
No,
Leah
I
gets
just-
the point if you
I
get it
just
wrong.
get a, I just get a
Oh,
pity point.
my
I just get a pity point.
Yeah. In 1985 to 86, actually I don't have the exact date, but Francis Ford Coppola was brought on and directed the entire
that's
episode
right.
in a running gag throughout the entire episode. Leah,
Yep.
you just get a point and you tie it up if you get this.
Oh, bother.
Awesome.
Which of these 3? An ad for a social network to be used exclusively by animals. Michael Jackson hosts a kids show featuring a llama and a skeleton. Or a man in a leather store keeps creepily asking for something in lace.
I really, really definitely feel like I've seen the Michael Jackson one.
You'd be correct. That was a TV Funhouse segment.
Hey!
You tied it up. All right. All right. Basically shootout style at this point. Sudden death. Saad.
Yes.
The Chucky doll appears on Weekend Update. An emergency hygiene meeting at a hand sanitizer factory. Or a recording session of the one guy who plays electric guitar for all 80s movies scores. The silence. It's riveting.
So it's Chucky doll on Weekend Update.
Emergency hygiene meeting at a hand sanitizer factory. Or a recording session of the one guy who plays electric guitar in all 80s movies.
Oh.
I feel like I know this one.
Okay, even though I'm probably going to get this wrong, can you let Leah guess it when I do?
Sure.
She'll get the point regardless. I just want to hear what she thinks it is.
Okay.
I'm going to say 80s guitar guy.
Leah?
I think it's Chucky doll on Weekend Update.
Leah's correct. It was a Chucky doll appearing on Weekend Update and trying to murder Colin Quinn.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
Leah, if you get this one, you win the game.
Oh my.
For the first and maybe last time, based on how much you've said you're going to be terrible at these games.
I can tell you right now I'm going to choke.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Which of these final three sketch ideas? Bill Clinton hosts a 60s-style sexy dance party TV show. A white person's guide to the Apollo Theater. Or a teenager's childhood teddy bear comes to life and is disgusted with what he saw the teen doing.
I'm going to go with the last one.
I'm sorry, it was a white person's guide to the Apollo Theater.
I
A
feel like
Chris Rock segment from when he was, I believe, a cast member. So, we have a tie, and that's really disappointing. I guess if we hadn't made Saad bet his point, he would have won.
You know what? I think this was meant to be.
Because
I feel like if either of us won in this situation, it might break the friendship up. So
You think our friendship is not that weak? I'm really insulted. You think that our entire friendship...
Our friendship is not that weak. I'm so insulted. We're not going to be friends anymore.
How dare you? How dare you, Saad?
Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm sorry to leave it on such a cliffhanger of whether you guys will ever be able to talk to one another again, but maybe it's like a Sherlock and a John Watson thing where, like, years from now, you'll surprise each other in a restaurant and punch one another when it turns out that one of you did not die.
I mean, I'm going to immediately jump out the window after it's over, so...
A big old Reichenbach fall, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Leah, where can people find you?
They can find me at Leah Sueko on Twitters.
Saad?
Find me on Twitter at SaadK and on the now defunct OC podcast, which I'm never today. Although
Did we
you
ever
should release it. You should release it.
You should release it. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that podcast.
What was the although?
we are still soliciting for guests. If Peter Gallagher is out there somewhere listening, we would absolutely resurrect the podcast if he would come on.
No, get Ryan, because I think he's hot.
All right, Benjamin McKenzie.
He's
if
too
you're
busy.
not busy playing Detective Gordon.
Yeah.
Or Luke.
All right, come on, woman.
He's probably more free because he doesn't.
He's definitely more free. I think he was in the sequel to like Deep Crush.
He was in.
It was
Shark
straight
Night.
to DVD.
Shark Night was pretty da bomb, you know.
So yeah.
I'm so out of my depth right now.
For more of this, please listen to our podcast.
And
our podcast that isn't available, or
you can find me actually. You know what? Follow Deep Thoughts SNL. Brian has taken that over and he's doing news. Go to tribuclub.blogspot.ca for Russell's write-ups, which will include the official point tally, which might differ from mine. I want to announce this dumb idea we're doing for the final show of the year. We are live streaming immediately after the Amy Adams episode next weekend at 1 a.m. in Christmas sweaters. Drunk is the idea. We're going to live stream immediately after. That's me, and if all goes to plan, Brian, Matt, and maybe someone else. So I hope people come back 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time after SNL on Saturday night. It's going to
definitely be tuning in.
It's going to be
awesome.
Just a whole hot mess of garbage. It'll be great. Anyway, bye everybody.
All right.
Bye. Who are we saying bye to?
Everyone.
Everyone on the interweb. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Why isn't it closing? I stopped it. I stopped it 15 seconds ago, and we're still live.
We're still live.
I feel like Martin Freeman in a dancing sketch.